Welcome back to my channel. I do have a shirt on, it's just strapless. It's summertime, it's hot, girl. The cicadas are outside. I apologize for the noise. Hopefully they're not too loud. In today's video, I wanted to discuss the book Sugar Daddies by Jade West. This book is spicy. Obviously, spicy would mean 18 plus, but there were some scenes in this book that had me blushing, okay? And I read some spicy stuff. This book right here, this is probably the spiciest book that I've read, just in terms of their language used during erotic scenes and just the nature of the erotic scenes. I like to give reviews of books without giving spoilers, and if I do give a little bit of a spoiler, it's always out of context. So I'm not gonna ruin the book for you. I really do not want to ruin the book for anyone. Let's get into it. Given the books that I read in my history, Storygraphs then recommended Sugar Daddies to me by Jade West. The description is, a sugar daddy website doesn't seem a sound basis for an A1 life plan, but I'm a small town girl with big dreams, and there's this one crazy advert I can't stop thinking about. Two hot guys seeking their little Miss Right. Someone who can entertain them, amuse them, fit in with their corporate schedule. And sex. They want sex. Lots of sex. Bonus, right? One major dose of epic win. Of course, guys like Carl and Rick have their conditions. One being that they come together or not at all. Hell, I can live with that. And there are no skeletons in their designer closet, none that I can find. Just two hot sugar daddies with particular tastes, nothing to worry about. Until Carl and Rick spill the big one, the one that sends the girls running. A whole string of them before me, running to the hills without so much as a backward glance. Maybe I should run too. Thanks, but no thanks. See you around, guys. Nice knowing you, but I'm already in way too deep for that. So I don't even like reading the description because I find that it gives too much of the book away for me, in my opinion. Sometimes I'll skim the description just to see if it's something that I might be interested in, but this one, I did not read the description. Now, given that the description makes it very clear, this book is about a younger woman in her early 20s who basically is on a website looking for a sugar daddy. That actually interested me because for the people that know me, I was a sugar baby at one point in my life. So I'm very familiar with the world. I'm very familiar with looking for the sugar daddy online, meeting with them for the first time, the jitters that go along with that, figuring out the arrangement, what the price is gonna be, what that includes, blah, 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 blah. So I've been there, done that. I no longer do that, but I have been there. So saw what the story would be about. I was very much interested. I have done the sugar daddy thing, but I have not ever had two sugar daddies that wanted one baby to share. But yes, I was very curious to see how this author would play it and if it was realistic. So with that being said, right, when I first started the book, I was very pleasantly surprised that the book felt realistic and accurate, from how the girl was nervous when she first arrived to the sugar daddy's home, how she felt out of place, how she wasn't sure how this was gonna go, what she was expected to do right away. And I thought that that was very cool to see, just how she was portrayed. It wasn't portrayed as skanky or escorty or grimy in any type of way. I felt that it was very respectful, and I liked the way that the guys carried themselves and handled themselves. When they got to them scenes in the bed, child, they were some freaks, some absolute freaks. So let's go in order here. Storygraph said that they recommended this book to me. They said it's a perfect fit for readers who crave a lighthearted and emotional romance with a touch of erotica. particularly those who enjoy exploring the complexities of relationships and are open to a unique take on the sugar daddy trope. Which I will say, this was a very unique take on the sugar daddy trope, for sure. Now, when they say a touch of erotica, this is deep erotica. Like I said, this had me blushing, reading it, listening to it, had me like, ooh, girl. It was deep. It was very much deep. Okay, so I wouldn't say a touch of erotica. This is for people who like deep and dangerous. This was beyond erotica. This was pornographic, in my opinion, which I have no problem with. I just want to let people know in advance, this was pornographic. I had very low expectations for this book, as I said, but given my history, I was very interested and curious to see what was in store for the story and how they would make a story out of it and how it would end. I felt like there was a lot of sex. However, there was a lot of character development. We learn about the history of a few of the characters, and it ended up being a very relationship heavy book, which I was surprised. It could have been a very surface level, but there still was a story with it. And there were a few twists, even early on in the book. I decided to rate this book a 3.5 out of 5. I wrote that there were very great sex scenes. The sex scenes were very good and spicy. If that's what you're into, this will deliver. I did feel that it turned a bit sappy, which I did not expect. Usually when it comes to an arrangement, it can be very cut and dry. At least when it came to my experience with it, I was not in a sugar daddy relationship to find love. I was in there to find a check, you feel me? And that was it. And this went from transactional to very much attached. It ended up being a happy ending to a non-traditional story, and I'm actually curious why the author decided to go that route. Obviously, having a sugar daddy is very non-traditional, so for the author to take it that direction, I was very, very surprised. Perhaps she wanted to show a different side to how relationships can start all different types of ways, which I thought was very unique, so I gave her kudos for that. Although the only major negative to me was the family acceptance. Most times, even if there's a significant age gap between a man and a woman when they get together, that in itself can cause families to have somewhat of an issue with the relationship. Not only was there a significant age gap in the people in the relationship, but it also was a polyamorous relationship with 2 bisexual men and 1 younger female. So although I do think it's perfectly okay to be accepting, I don't think anyone should be judged for who they're attracted to, who they want to be with, right? I think it would be natural for the family, especially of the younger female in this situation, to have a few hang-ups to where they might question, you know, what are your intentions with my daughter? Is this what she really wants, or is she being influenced? Those sorts of normal things that come up. And I truly feel like in this book, those issues were just skimmed over. The families were very accepting. And if they did have any questions, it was like a quick, like, maybe a side eye, but it was very much giving, do these people not care about their daughter? I don't understand, because if it were my child, I would say, listen, you're an adult, you have the right to do whatever you want to do. Who am I to stop you? Ultimately, you're going to do what you want to do. However, I do have concerns that I'd like to voice with you. I just want to talk with you to make sure that you're okay with this, to make sure you're comfortable, that sort of thing. And then I'd tread very, very lightly to see and observe the interaction of the relationship before I just full on give my blessing. However, in this scenario, I feel like the family just gave blessings. I feel like the family just immediately almost was just like, you like them, we love it. And I just thought that that was so unrealistic. But again, the book was very good. It was engaging enough for me to finish it, so I do think that it is worth the read. The themes in the story would be monetary arrangement, the sugar daddy trope, accidental love, polyamory, those sorts of things were very prevalent in the book. And it actually unlocked a few new desires for me that I didn't know would appeal to me. I found myself listening to this book and being like, oh, I will say slightly, I was slightly intrigued. Only because if you were to get into this book and start reading it, the men are very loving, they're very doting. I love that. But I did feel a little cringy. Hear me out. I felt a little cringy in terms of, what is it, like sadism, masochism? There was a lot of discussion of pain, right? And I think that me being an adult, I'm 27, almost 28 in a month, and I very much understand how there's a fine line for some between pleasure and pain. And a lot of times in sexual intimacy, when couples are very comfortable with each other, they will explore beyond pleasure and get a little bit into pain. And that can be a turn on for some. And I felt like in this book, things would start off very sensual and passionate, and I was like, ooh, I'm in. Yes, this sounds good. It's spicy. It feels good. It feels loving. And then it would turn into harder, make it hurt. You know what I'm saying? And I'd be like, oh, whoa, 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 whoa. You lost me. You know what I'm saying? Like, So when I say it intrigued me, I was very much intrigued. There were things that I was surprised, that I was a little bit like, oh, okay, that sounds interesting. And then it would veer left, and I was like, okay, yeah, nope, never mind. So with that being said, we can go straight into triggers. I would say that this is very spicy. There's lots of sex scenes. They're very in-depth. This is not a book where they start getting romantic and then they shift to another scene because it's implied that they had sex. No, you're gonna know the details of what was done, who was doing what to who, how it felt, maybe even what it tasted like. It's very pornographic, very explicit. This had a lot of male, female erotic scenes, and the men are bisexual. So do with that what you will. I'm letting you know that was very much discussed. Happy Pride Month. And also there was one scene where I'm like, would this be considered BEASTIALITY? Because there was one scene where the younger woman was having flashbacks of a night she had with these guys, and she is a horseback rider and was led to climax while riding her horse. And I'm like, is this kind of borderline, right? I'm just saying, like, had me side-eyeing it, okay? My final thoughts on the book were, wow. It ended and I was just like, wow. I felt that it had a very unexpected ending considering how it started. And it turned very relationship heavy, like I mentioned. Very sappy, very romantic. And I did not expect it to go that way. And it actually got me a little curious to read more from the author Jade West. I have never read any of her books previously. However, she does have a few more books that I have added to my TBR because I'm just curious to see what else she's got in her repertoire. This was very spicy, and I like spice. This book was very good. Overall, it was very good. But it discussed many different lives, many different hardships, and things that people went through that led them to where they were in their life, from the young lady's mother to her father to one of the Sugar Daddies' upbringings, and just how all of them interacted with one another and how their own stories led to where they were in life and how they were as people. And I thought that it was very interesting how she tied in different people's traumas and what they've been through and how that caused them to see the world. The tags for this particular book were fiction, contemporary, erotica, LGBTQIA, romance, emotional, lighthearted, and medium paced. So all my favorite things, obviously. And yeah, I would recommend this book for anyone who is of age. Obviously, this is not a young adult book. This is very adult. I would say it's 21 plus. I don't even think an 18-year-old should be reading this. Although me at 18, I probably would have been interested in reading this, but I just thought, I don't know, it might be a little too much. I wouldn't recommend it for my daughter at 18. I wouldn't recommend it for my daughter at all. I don't want her to get in no ideas. But if you are grown, you're already in a relationship, already married, this might be something that interests you. My son is waking up. Okay, so with that being said, that is all I had to cover in today's video. I hope that you enjoy, and I will see you in the next video. If you have read this book or you plan on reading this book, let me know down in the comments. Let's discuss, because this is a very off the beaten path book, and I'm just curious to know what other people's thoughts are and if they are similar to mine. So as always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.